Hi, welcome to Velvet Games. Today we're going to be taking a break from our normal D&D content and showing you how we build our certain characters. I'm Jason.
I'm George.
And this is Velvet Games. So today we're going to be talking about how to build a rogue with the rogue expert himself, George.
Yes.
Yes, a 6'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6'3" behemoth that loves to sneak into corners and shoot people. Makes sense. Just makes sense.
I never claimed to be normal.
That's true. That's true. So walk us through how you build a rogue, George.
I grab knives and I just stabby things and it just works out.
Do you put the hood on first or do you put it on after?
No. I just keep the hood off the entire time. Make sure everybody knows who I am.
Oh,
so that
Russian
way I go
silence.
to jail. There you go.
Yeah.
You see, that's the right way to play. No, I don't do
Right.
that.
Okay. You know what they say? Russian silence. There can't be. You don't have any witnesses if nobody's left alive. Is that what it is? Something
Pretty
like that?
much.
Yeah.
So
There's a
I
phrase.
know that I do that as a barbarian. That's
okay.
my silence.
So how do you build a rogue though?
So most of the time I choose either between ranged and melee, or I do a little bit of both.
Okay.
I usually choose the thief archetype, although I have done the assassin archetype a few times, but generally how I like to play is like as versatile as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ability for me to pretty much get out of any situation that I'm in and also just be super versatile. Like even one of the skills that are there is for me to be able to use magic items that normally I wouldn't be able to use because
Right.
I'm a martial
Right.
and I'm not a spellcaster. I'm able to use those items. So I can do a lot more things as a thief than instead of just me stab everything to death as an assassin.
Right.
But that's generally how I like to play. When I play melee, I use a rapier and then usually a short sword in my offhand.
Okay.
Most of the time, pretty much start off all my rogues the same way. Usually I have the mobile feat to kind of start off. If I'm going to do a melee build, usually I'll have like dual wielding, and just other feats and other things to kind of help me to stay sneaky. One of my more favorite items are, I know inside of our games we stack advantages,
Mm-hmm.
but even if we don't, I usually like to have like boots of Elvenkind or the cloak of Elvenkind, or even a cloak / ring of invisibility. And then also there's a ring called, I think it's the ring of, it's not action. It's a ring of warning. And there's also
yeah.
dagger of warning that gives you advantage to initiative rolls and
Yeah.
prevents you from getting surprised.
Right.
So, it allows me with all those items. I already have a super high stealth roll. If I manage to have something of invisibility, now it's even harder to detect me.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus anything that has to do with combat, hopefully I get first dibs.
Yeah.
Allowing me to go and put myself in the best situation possible and or get a head start for me to run away.
Right.
So, yeah, and then I also, the whole climbing feature with the thief is wonderful because you don't get that with any other class, any other subclass.
Yeah.
So climbing buildings and crap like that is super easy to do. And then for a ranged build, most of the time I'll get something like, first again, mobile. I would probably get Skulker as well as Sharpshooter.
Okay.
And then get proficiency in like a longbow. So that way I can shoot from as far away as I want, to up to the maximum range of the longbow, which I believe is 600 feet.
Yeah. Believe so.
And then get my sneak attack bonus. And then with Skulker, I can easily remain in stealth without them knowing where they got shot from.
Right.
It's just a general direction of where they got shot from. So that way it's much easier for me to stay hidden. And I just keep on shooting the ever-living crap out of you
Right.
until you are dead.
Yeah. Why worry about it if
So-
they can't find you?
Exactly. So, and then the in-between is having a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, if I'm going to do a little bit of both, I'll do mobile. Then I will do probably sharpshooter, because dual wielding doesn't help a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a little bit. And then I would do dual wielding and then skulker.
Gotcha. Okay.
So either that or skulker, then dual wielding. It just depends on what I have, what the situation is.
Yeah, I like to approach rogue in two different ways. As most of you might know, I like casting spells.
Yes.
Makes the game a lot easier and more fun for me. But there's the arcane trickster, which gives the rogues the ability
Minor
to
illusion's wonderful and mage hand is wonderful.
Exactly.
So I can see it.
So yeah, you use the best of your advantage of your spells and so on, and you can you have spell casting. It's the only or one of the only, I would say, spell casting subclasses for rogue. Everything else is more focused on critical damage or thievery and all this other stuff where this you can add your DC to certain things and make it better and so on. But that's usually what I take when I'm trying to be a little bit more broken per se and kind of build in similar as a long range but focus on spell casting.
Yeah.
So and I usually take the spell driver feat so I can cast multiple spells and continue doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I focus most of my spells on stealth. So whether it's Misty Step or what's that one where you have the cloak of
the cloak of Aggie?
Cloak of Aggie.
Or something?
Yeah. And then there's the Pass Without Trace, stuff like that I'm like, cool. Everybody huddle up. Let's turn invisible for a second. Boop. And then let's go into the castle and kill everybody.
Yeah.
And so
I'm just like the solo kill everybody guy instead.
Right.
So.
And similar to you, I like taking mobile and I like taking sharpshooter. Sharpshooter, increases the range and I can sit back and just be anywhere. Skulker is really good too because you can hide in shadows. I do whenever there's a firearms into the campaign, I usually lean towards going rogue because the advantages that you can have.
The advantages of having firearms. The only problem with that is just the less ability to stealth.
Exactly.
But if you're good enough, it doesn't affect you as much. They just hear a very loud noise and they go in that general direction and now you're in a different spot.
Exactly. No, and if with Arcane Trickster, you can, if you have the spell slots for it, you shoot and then as a bonus action, Misty Step to another spot, or there's that other spell that lets you travel or teleport between where you could see in a dim lit place.
Yeah.
Not Dusk Walk, but similar. I think I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
I don't remember either. I mean, I'm not a spellcaster most of the time. So.
Yeah, but Dusk Walk is also fun as a rogue too, because if you do short range as melee, you just pull out your rapier and go Dusk Walk, and oh my shoot, and just kind of finish them off most of the time. But my other build besides Arcane Trickster is from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Phantom. Which lets you talk to the dead. It's the one that...
Oh, that one.
Yes. Yeah. It's the one that we're playing... I'm playing as Jason Grayson.
Oh, yeah. You were playing the rogue, and I decided to play a paladin for us to change things up.
Exactly.
So
I'm completely melee, or I'm completely martial, I should say. No casting whatsoever. I do have darkness, but it's a racial casting. It's a racial feat rather than actually... Because I'm a nocturne rogue. So I'm like half demon, half human kind of thing. Kind of like closest to a tiefling that you can be without being a tiefling.
Pretty much.
But yeah, and so like I have that and...
Something from the Shadowfell, I believe.
Right. And so with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, it gives you like, you can talk to the dead, you don't need to sleep as much, certain things like that. So you're just like, cool, like I'm a rogue and I'm edgy and I'm everything like that.
Way more edgy.
Yeah. And like
so edgy that I see dead people.
Not do I only see them, I can talk to them.
Yes.
The
only thing I would probably do with your Arcane Trickster is I would go and take, I think it's Battle Mage feat, allowing me to do opportunity attacks and cast spells.
Oh, Battlecaster.
Boom, there it is. Battlecaster. And then potentially even Mage Slayer.
Yeah.
Just to add versatility if you end up in melee combat.
Right.
But as long as you do your due diligence and you go and do your stuff, you should be able to avoid melee combat if you set up a good enough ranged build.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, you never know what situation you can get into. So generally why I like to choose a kind of halfway point.
Right.
That I can do both. So another thing about your build is that with the spell slots, I don't like having spell slots most of the time because I have to regenerate them. So if I don't have spell slots at all, I can just continuously dish out the damage that I
Sure.
want constantly because I don't have any restrictions. While with spellcasters, you have that restriction. Now that doesn't mean that it's not good, and it doesn't mean you don't have very good like damage per second. Like those first few rounds, you're just dishing it out big time. But that is one thing I don't like. I just like being able to constantly have everything that I have to my advantage and just constantly have it.
No, for sure. And another aspect of when I build rogues, and this might be different than most, is I dump so much into charisma.
Yes, you do.
And it's because when I want to deceive somebody, I don't want to have to think of the words too much. I just want to be able to roll and be like, my deception's a +20 because I'm a rogue and I have expertise and everything. And boom, okay, all I have to do is roll higher than a 2 and I get a 21.
Yeah, and then once you get, I believe it's a level 11 skill, the one that, I forgot what it's called, but pretty much anything between 1 and 10 is always a 10.
Right, exactly.
And then, so you consistently have a high roll.
No, yeah.
Unless you have like, critical fails inside of the campaign.
Reliable talent.
So, boom, there it is, reliable talent.
Yeah, and
I love that skill so much.
That's the thing. Like, if you're a rogue, right, and you don't have to be the edgy rogue, you can be this like, because like I built Jason Grayson, who's this like upstanding citizen that fights for people, and he's my idea of all the Robins, not only from Batman but Robin Hood as well. So like he fights for justice and he does all this stuff and he's kind of has that dark past, but he puts it behind him to help people.
Yeah.
And so like for like half of the campaign, guys, I was just seeking after this princess from another colony. And like I was just like, I just want to marry the princess. I hope she's hot. And then like I heard rumors that she was like being forced into the marriage. I was like, we have to go. And then we made a flying ship because we have those. And we made a flying ship go across to the other country, and boom, save the princess, who was an old lady, but I got to marry her daughter. Well, date her daughter.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's always fun dating your friends as the DMs, especially when you're both guys. It's just
hilarious.
Just life.
And married.
Yeah. It's just life. But yeah, but like I was saying,
the amount of times I had to break you out of jail, it's like, you know what? I'm playing a rogue this time.
But like, but the charisma aspect of rogues, I think, is super slept on because
dude, the ability is extreme. Like, for example, bards have expertise.
Exactly.
Imagine your main stat is charisma,
right? And
then you have expertise in persuasion or deception, depending on how you play,
right?
Like, dude.
Yeah, I think
amazing.
When I'm building a rogue, I kind of think in the step system, Dex is usually my number 1.
Yep.
And then 2 is usually charisma for me because I want to be able to get away with whatever I'm getting away with.
Yeah, while my first one is usually Dex and then my second is wisdom.
Okay.
Because I generally like to be able to. So most of the time, my second expertise is in perception.
Okay.
Because I want to not be caught because I know my own abilities.
Right.
So I can expect that the enemy's abilities to sneak, if they do have those abilities, are pretty darn high. So I want to make sure that I don't get snuck up on. So I have a ridiculous passive perception.
So
all the time.
I build a character expecting to get caught, and you build a character so you don't get caught.
Pretty much.
Well,
100%.
Anything you want to add to how to build a rogue? Oh, that's another thing I forgot. Cloak of Displacement.
Nope.
Yep, 100%. I think that should be every rogue's like go-to.
So, I think it's a very good cloak.
Okay,
I agree, but the reason why I don't use it is because I like to stack. If we do stack advantages, I would instead do Cloak of Elvenkind because I can get away from them even hitting me.
Sure.
Instead of me even having to risk getting hit at all with the Cloak of Displacement.
Sure.
Unless I want to go the more tanky route, and if we allow me to use, like, what is it, the the Cloak of the Archmage.
Yeah, the
and I
Archmagi,
just
yeah.
and then I just go unarmored and then do 15 plus dex and then plus other stuff of protection. Then
Yeah.
then
Well,
uncanny dodge. Then,
yeah. Well,
then okay, I can see that, but most of the time I try. My primary focus is to avoid, first of all, getting caught, and second of all, avoiding damage altogether.
Right.
So,
well, maybe you guys can tune in to our wizard builds where where more than likely George is going to use the Robe of the Archmagi like nonstop and see how he builds a tanky wizard. But I mean, I think that's it for how we build rogues. So, I mean, I hope that gives you guys some more options of how you guys want to build your rogues. If you have any other suggestions of how to build a rogue, just leave it down below in the comments, and we'd love to read it and get back to you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching the video. We really hope you enjoyed it.
If you guys like this video, make sure you comment below and subscribe to the channel.
And also be sure to check out the... You guys smell banana pudding?
Be sure to check out the Discord and the Patreon too. I'm sure you're going to find it appealing.
Again?
Yeah. Yeah, Mark? Yeah, it happened again.
Thanks for watching.